Hello everyone and welcome to the second video of the Urban View Distance mod. In this video we'll cover some of the menu functions and we'll see how they work in game. We are still in Arma for the weekend, nice holiday of sunny weather, and as you can see the mod is already working. We have a view distance of 623 out of the 3800 that would be my default, and our maximum height is set to 2 meters. So you'll see that when I get here in this building and I reach the second story, the view distance will get back to 3800. And this is because we are above the maximum height above ground that I told my mod to be working at. So when I get back downstairs, the view distance has already been altered and I can get into the urban center with as many FPS as I can. Now if I press F12 in this mod, I'll access the menu in which you can set the minimum FPS from 30 to 75, above which the mod will not do anything. The lowest view distance, which is the minimum allowed number in meters that the mod is gonna be able to scale to, and it will not be able to go lower than this. The urban radius will be the radius, the maximum radius at which the mod will start working. So some people may be running mechanized or fast moving vehicles might want to have a longer radius, and infantry might have a shorter one. So 500 or 750 usually works. The smooth factor is how smooth the transitions that are visible to the player are. So the default is 160. It's pretty smooth. And the maximum height is again how high I have to be over ground to be able to get back to my normal view distance. The while using optics mode is pretty interesting because it will restore the original system view distance when you're using optics. So for example, let's say that I want to set these to 5 and I want, while using optics, to be disabled, so the mod will not work during optics. So in here you can see my view distance is still 715, and if I go back upstairs, the view distance is now still 773, still being modified by the mod. Why is that? Because I am actually putting a limit of 5 meters and I'm at 3.1. So maybe the rooftop will be addressed by the mod. I will get back to the view distance that I had in my system, but not the first story high. So now if I'm using optics here, you see that I can see my radio tower again because I'm using the scope, and I told the mod to stop working when I'm using scope. Now if I'm standing still, the mod will still be waiting for you, because if you want to put overwatch on something, you don't want the view distance to be drastically coming back and forth. But if I move, then you'll see my view distance is back to being calculated by the mod. And if I watch this here again, I get it back. So if I keep overwatch and then go downstairs, I haven't even noticed and my view distance has been modified. And again, your focus and attention will be concentrating on something else if there's a battle going on here. So now we're really focusing on what the mod does. But even if I'm not upstairs and I put my scope on, I get my view distance back. If you don't want this because you're doing just CQC, you go in while using optics and you let the mod be enabled again, and this makes it for the view distance to remain exactly as calculated. So some people might like 1 meter, for example. Others might like 10 meters if you're doing overwatches on radio towers. Others might go for more extreme settings. And this, for example, is now pretty substantial. We're having a complete difference change between 250 of urban radius and 1500. So we're telling him that from 1500 meters to the center, the mod has to start working up to a minimum of 500. So I would say this is the most power saving settings that you have. But at this time you might want to be able to see on the hills, and then you can scope back even with the normal scope or CQB, and you still get your view distance, and then it will still get altered. You see, if I'm doing this, I barely notice that things are changing. And again, in CQC, I might not want to have this, or I might want even to set it to 10 meters so that I'm pretty far from hitting that threshold. And even if I, climb on a rooftop, I will not alter my view distance to the lowest setting. So now we are at 500 and it's still, pretty playable, right? Right on. So this concludes the second video on the functions of the mod. I hope you find these useful, and remember, I'm on patreon.com/VTO if you want to support my mod making and have me make even more awesome mods. Thank you very much. Bye bye.